So today we're going to speak about Ascension, but I'm going to give you 21 examples of you to recognize whether you're going through the Ascension. I'll see you after the intro. Welcome back. My name's Jay. I'm from Carnacalistics, where we learn together and we grow together in the sight of God. So today, if you hear the background noise in the background, it's the planes from Heathrow. They're just chucking them out like everyone has to go on holiday. It's do my head in sometimes. But anyway, let's move on. Let's talk about Ascension. So today I'm going to speak about Ascension and what key things are, and 21 examples of what Ascension is, and if you're going through it, or you may be going through a couple, and it's not necessarily this is a pathway you're going to go through, and then if you don't go through them all, you're not ascended. This is a part of examples to see exactly if you are going through them, and it's helped you identify these key issues that you're facing, that you're not alone and you're not feeling discontented or removed from the people around you. So let's just jump straight on. The first one is you're feeling disconnected and detached from people, and you may feel that you're being overwhelmed and confused by just general situations. Someone may come to you and you're just not getting it right, and you're not working out what the situation is or where you are. You may just feel that you want to just detach yourself from people, and you may find that you want to stay at home and just kind of lock yourself away. You may feel that you even want to just get away, just to be away from you or have a break from being you. So that is a part of the process of Ascension. What's happening to your spirit, or what's happening to you, is for the fact is that the old you is a kind of like a death. So it's kind of getting rid of the old you, the old version of you. So as you are disconnecting from yourself and the people around you, that is you letting go of the old part of you, if that makes sense. So the identification and the people that come to you and start talking to you and you get quite agitated and annoyed with, kind of thing, it's because you're trying to work out what's wrong with you. And I can guarantee you, when people are saying to you, are you okay? Is there anything wrong? That you must want to just say, just shut the hell up, I'm fine. When you're not, and you just want to just work out what your own problem is. I mean, how the hell can you tell these people what your problem is if you don't even know what it is? So in essence, what I would say to say to them is, look, I'm going through an Ascension, I believe. I'm not sure what's going on, but you know what, it'd be nice if I could just come and talk to you about stuff. And then they'll go, okay, fine. And they go, and if they go with an Ascension, they go, just tell them it's a spiritual development or a spiritual stepping stone to the next realm. And then they pretty much should just leave you alone. Number two is you reevaluate your beliefs. So you are looking at what's important, what's key about you and people around you. And you look at, like, there may be a sense where you are when I say you detaching, it's more that you are saying, why do I believe in these things? Why do I believe in the paranormal? Why do I believe in tarot? Why do I believe in this? Why do I believe in people around me? Why am I attached to these people? Why am I manifesting these types of people if you believe in the law of attraction? All these things about you analyzing and reevaluating your beliefs, because again, it's another form of death or letting go. It's a part of you moving up and moving forward. I'm telling you, look, this won't be the first time you're going through it. This is a part of the journey. And why I say to people, they go, oh, I wish I was as gifted as you and blah, blah, blah. No, zip it. Reality is like, it's a lifetime of self-development. If you love self-development and self-growth, then crack on. This is the path for you, because it is about you dealing with it on a day-to-day basis. And on top of that, it's not necessarily that you go, okay, well, I want to go and study blah, blah, blah. It comes when you don't even expect it. Something may trigger you, something may trigger you, and then you go into this fight or flight mode is where you're trying to fight it or you're trying to run away from it. So look, it's a part of our journey, it's a part of our growth. Believe it or not, it makes us stronger. It actually helps us as healers or shamans or whatever to help our clients or the people that we work with. So your dreams are more vivid. This is number 3. Your dreams are more vivid. They are so clear. Yeah, they are so it's almost is like out there that you are going, okay, I'm actually in this. I dreamt that when I was going through my ascension, that someone I knew was going to get mugged. Right? I know, sad to say. I know I never have these kind of warnings, I call them, and it was really bugging me. So I kind of like warned them to like, look, just be careful. Don't go down any stupid dark alleys. Don't be blah blah blah. And it turns out that I can see who the perpetrator was. Right? I can see who the perpetrator was. Who actually mugged this person. So. All I knew, it was a man that was mugging this other guy. So what happened was that he was out. He was during the broad daylight, and he was at the cash point, got his money out, and he just turned, and somebody went by and took it and drove off. But all I said, because I said to him, look, it's really quick. So that's what he was. So he said to me, when that happened, what was really stupid about it was that he normally stays at the till and puts the money in his wallet, then puts the wallet in his pocket or wherever. But then he was turning around. It was unbeknown that, that this person was coming to take it. So, and the warning was there, but it was like, don't change the way you are doing things because you were, because this is where he was changing the way, his patterns of doing things. So my vivid dream, or my dream, was very clear, and it was quite apparent about my journey to help this guy to be more self-aware, which he kind of did. Number 4, you experience deja vu, which is true. Deja vu, I don't know if anyone knows what deja vu is, but I will explain it. If you've seen The Matrix, I don't know if you've seen the movie. In The Matrix, Neo walks past and sees a cat, and then looks back again, and it's the same cat doing the same motion. So he says to Morpheus, "Oh, look, deja vu." So Morpheus goes, "What do you mean deja vu?" And he goes, "The cat just repeated the same thing." So he goes, "What do you mean repeat the same thing? Is it the same cat or was it another cat?" And he goes, "No, you're pretty much the same cat." Then they knew that there was a change in the Matrix. So when you see deja vu, it's your spirit that has gone. It's slightly different than the Matrix, by the way. When you had deja vu, it's your spirit that's gone ahead in time and arrived at a certain point in your future that they're really drawn to. So I don't know, it could be anything random. I won't be specific. So it is, for the fact is that I've been there before. I always say, take stock of what's going on around you for the next hour, 2 hours or so, or what's just happened, because your spirit is alerted your consciousness, your conscious self, about this change that's coming. So be aware of that. That's what deja vu is. Number 5 is relationships begin to shift. So for me, I was constantly going through shifts and people just didn't understand it, and that's why it's key to have somebody who understands what you're going through as a spiritual being. That's why you find a lot of spiritual light workers date spiritual light workers, because other spiritual light workers would understand the growth and the change or development of the individual, not people who don't really believe, who are not really spiritual, who won't understand it, just think that you're having a bad day or you're always moaning, always moody and all the rest of it, when it's not. It's massive. It is really massive. And when you're going through it, it is sheer, sorry for swearing, it's sheer fucking hell. And no one gets it unless you've actually been through it. It is hard. It's almost like, the worst thing is, it's out of your control. And it really is out of your control. So the people around you, your relationships shift, because as you grow, you start aligning yourself with different people. So as you align yourself with different people, the old people that can't understand will then filter away and disappear. So don't, as Yoda says, be happy for those who transform into the Force. Don't mourn them, don't be sad for them, because we're all moving forward and we're all finding unique people that can help us with our growth, and vice versa with our growth. Therefore, we'll be able to help them people with their growth. So number 6 is your spiritual. You are spiritually becoming important a part of your life. So you would live, breathe, and poo, basically spirituality. You will constantly listen to talks. You will constantly want to develop and understand what spirituality is about. Now remember, spirituality is about you. It's about you becoming a better version of you. Spirituality is not a subject outside of you. Spirituality is you, because you are spiritual. You are a spiritual being. So remember that. Please remember that, because that's where people mess up. And I'm trying my best not to swear. This is where people mess up, because when they're outside and they believe that spirituality is like a religion or a belief, that's not what it is. It is, for the fact is that it is a part of us. We are spiritual and we are changing spiritually. I was doing a session today with 2 of my friends. We was leading a meditation class, and one of my friends was going through a spiritual awakening. And when she was going through the spiritual awakening, I could see this other person coming into her life. It was a spiritual being, and she was unawares of it. But I could see it, because I knew what she was going through spiritually. Now I knew what she was going through in her private life, and I can see where she was going through in her spiritual life. But she can identify that this is the next step with her evolution. She's going through an ascension, and this is where she was doing the whole thing. She was reading text. She was basically constantly heading her books, constantly reading, constantly talking about it, constantly got a mind in it, detaching from certain people. Relationships changed. She's going through an ascension, and I don't think she really understood what it was or what it is and how serious it is. The ascension she's going into is on another higher frequency. And so when I told her, I kind of mentioned it, and I said, you got a guy that's sitting with you and they're going to be doing X, Y, and Z. And she was like, oh, that's really excellent. And she goes, I'm ready for a shift. I hope so, because this is like big. This is really big, especially for me to see it, and for me to be pulled in, and for that guide to actually acknowledge me and say, this, I'm here with this person, and this is what I'm doing. So you can more spiritually make spirit more part of your life. So, and I get this a lot. People who are spiritual say, I try and practice spirituality outside my workplace. So what? When you're in work, what are you? So I'm not laughing at you, right? Because I was the same, right? I was the same until I went to Glastonbury, and I was talking to this woman, and this woman said, you work in an office? This is it. I was working in an office. And I said, yeah. She said, and I go, I want to practice spirituality outside, and I have a problem trying to marry it into my work life. She said, what are you talking about? You're a spiritual being. So whether you're in work or out of work, you're still spiritual. Whether you're talking about spirituality, that's a different scenario. And that's always stuck with me. So we're talking about a good 15 years ago, she said this. So when I get a lot of people who say to me, I can't marry my spiritual self and my work self, I go, you're not meant to. They already are married, because you are spiritual, unless you're you don't have a spirit in you, so therefore you should be dead. So I said this to someone the other day, that if you're going into work and you're working in an office, the environment may not be fitted to accommodate spirituality. For example, if you're Muslim, you may be allowed to go and pray 5 times a day. If you want to go and read your spiritual text, or you want to go and meditate or whatever, do it at lunchtime. I did. I used to disappear to my car, have my lunch, and then I used to meditate at lunchtime. I used to read books at lunchtime, and then I felt a lot more, I used to, because I was working with a lot of people who weren't spiritual and they had a lot of negative energy around them. I would be doing a lots of cleansing at lunchtime to clear away the old path. Or when you get your 15-minute break, you know, when you go for your cigarette break, I don't know if you still do it, then do it then. Just say, look, I'm going for a 15-minute chill break, then just go, you know. And that is a good point to move from, and to move to. Number 7 is you are more intuitive. Hell to the yeah. Hell to the yeah. People don't realize when you are shifting how massive you become intuitive. You think you're intuitive now and you're being able to pick up stuff and going, oh, well, yeah, I can see this and I can see that. When you're moving up and when you're moving to, there's this kind of like journey when you're doing an ascension, right? You're in your old phase and that's kind of burning off, you know, like a rocket getting into orbit. That goes away. So then you come into your like moody phase and you're coming out of it and then you're going into the orbit and then you're really attuned. You're like, oh my gosh, I can touch the moon. I can, you know, I can get in, I can move the sun. I can move mountains, and you almost become immortal. And this is the intuitive part what I'm talking about. And then what happens is after that, so the 3 stages, the moody stage, the intuitive stage, and you're like, oh my gosh, I'm an immortal, until okay, well, this is normal now. Because what happens is it balances out and people go, well, I'm not as attuned as I was then. Yes, you are. It's just that your body and your spirit have married together and it's now normalized. Yes, so don't think that you've lost it. You're exactly still the same as you was when you were really intuitive. That old shitty you that was in the past is gone. This new bit is now moving forward. So just be aware of that. 8 is you can sense manipulation. You can sense when people's behavior shift before they shift. And you can sense when people are not being congruent and honest with you. You can sense when people are not being honest with other people. You can even sense when you're on a bus or out, and you can sense when there's a conversation going on with people and you know that this person's lying. I remember being out one time and I was with my friend and we was people watching. No, actually I was with my son, my oldest son, Jordan. And we was, I think we was in Covent Garden, and we were sitting having sort of juice or whatever it was. And we were like, blah, blah, blah. And we was getting, oh, like people watching, blah, blah, blah. Then there was a couple sitting next to us. I don't know if he remembers this. There's a couple sitting next to us. And they were talking, and he was talking about a friend of his, right? And she was going, oh, because she didn't know this friend of his. Not that we've been nosy or listening, but it was that loud. We could not hear. They were like literally next door. And this man was going, oh yeah, they're like this and they're like that and blah, blah, blah. They're like this and they're like that. They're like this and they're like... And his girlfriend was going, oh, that's really good. I goes, they sound like you two are really kind of close and I'll have to meet him one day. And he goes, yeah, probably, but it's they're always working, so it's highly on a thingy-bob. He was having an affair. I can tell you for free now, he was having an affair. 2 reasons, actually more than 2 reasons. One, he said they and never said he or she, right? Yeah, you could say, well, that's just thingy, Bob. No, he made it a point to not say it. Second thing is, even my son picked this up, not even, but my son picked this bit up and I goes, yeah, that's right. His body language changed every time she questioned him about this person, and he got not defensive as in the way he spoke, he kind of like jolted back. And 3 is for the fact is that I could sense it, and I said to Jord, he's having an affair. And he was like, what do you mean? I goes, he's having an affair. That person he's talking about is a woman. And if it's not a woman and it's a man, then it's a gay relationship. But he's talking about someone that he's romantically liking, because for the fact is that he's been blasé about it. And for the fact that, look at his energy, look at his aura. So then Jordan looked at his aura and goes, oh my gosh, yeah. And then he looked at the girl's aura and the girl was like, she kind of twigged something wasn't quite right, but she couldn't really place it. So then for some reason, she locked eyes with me. I don't know, because she was over this way. So she locked eyes with me and she's like smirked kind of thing. And I went, like, smirked back. And then we just carried on talking. And then, yeah, and we just knew, even when we walked away, oh my gosh, it was so, that's what I'm talking about. You sense stuff like that. And I'm not saying if you're in a cafe and you hear that going on and then go up to them and say, "Are you having an affair?" Because you know what, you probably get punched. So it's like sometimes you just need to be self-aware. The other thing is, I've been in when I through one of my shifts. I was just coming out of the I couldn't give a rat's ass phase, I call it, where I was really moody and letting go of all this stuff, and I'm going into really hyper sensitive. And I went into a spiritual shop. Well, there you go. And as soon as I walked past this woman, I just picked up on, please, go and speak to her as a collective. You need to talk to her. I go, really? Do I have to? I'm not really in the mood. I want to come in, just get some books and get my supplies and then go. No, talk to her. So I was like, fine. So went over to her, I said to her, hi, and I said who I was. And I said, first thing I said, look, this isn't a chat line. I just want to just say that I've got somebody here, I'm a medium, and this person said that they're all right now, they've moved over and they're no longer in pain in their stomach. And the person burst into tears, and I was just like, oh, damn. And I was like, thank you for that, it could have given me warning. So I said, like, I do apologize, is it something bad, what's going on? She said, my dad died 3 weeks ago and he had cancer of the stomach. And then she goes, I've been praying and asking for signs that he was okay. And I goes, yeah, he's okay. And I goes, he just wants to give you his love, but he can't stay long because he's just new. He's just new to the other side, and he's got an enabler which is helping him. So she was happy about it. And then it wasn't for me to try and get a reading out of her. That wasn't what it was. She said, can I take your details and have a consultation with you? I said, look, you don't need to. No, you don't. And if anything, no, because I wasn't, to be fair, I wasn't in the mood and I didn't really want to start to read this for people for the next couple of weeks kind of thing. So anyway, long story short, I swapped numbers and we did. And I said, look, give it a couple of weeks, wait until the end of the month and then contact me. He should be a bit more settled. Basically, I'll be a bit more settled. So would her dad. So she was the case, but she was right with the idea that, you know, her dad is at peace now. So with that, as I said about being intuitive, that is one of the massive things you probably will come across. And being and manipulation and so on. So it's really key. It's really key that you see that when I said about that bit about the manipulation and with this woman, I just wanted to touch upon that with the intuitive, because that was really key linking to that. So I kind of like blurred the lines a bit. So number 9 is you realize everyone is on their own path. So this could tie in with you realizing that not everyone's the same, which is what I just said, is that you, how can I explain this? That you realize, as you go along in life, right, you realize that everyone has their own life, yeah? And you realize, but you don't realize that everybody has their own life, because you just think that we all think, and not just me, we all think that everyone is having the same kind of day we are having, as in us individually, when someone's probably having a really shitty day and someone's probably having a really good day. But we just like to believe that these people are having a really good day, really bad day. So we realize that everyone's on their own path. So for example, you may go to, when you're going for your Ascension, you probably come across someone who you believe is on a spiritual journey, and you realize that they can't let go of being grounded, but you feel that they should be more out there, more spiritual and so on. And I goes, but at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter, because that's what they are there to do. They will shift in their own way. So the next one is number 10 is we want to be of service. So you will go out there, and as I said about earlier on about me talking to that woman and about people, you will go and want to have a need to go to a spiritual church to do healing, to do whatever your Ascension is going to be. I always say follow it through, don't not ignore it. Follow it through, because it is a key part of your development. Your teachers will find you. This is number 11. Your teachers will find you. So I'm talking about you want to be of service. So you may then want to, if you don't done Reiki, you may want to go and do Reiki. So you will find a teacher that will teach you Reiki. Or you may find someone who does tarot or so on and so forth. So be mindful that will happen. Number 12, you feel alone. Yes, you do. And it's a massive part of being spiritual. Being alone in a crowd, and check my video for being alone and isolation. I think it's isolation I was talking about. I think it's isolation, my isolation video, where I thought that you're being isolated, and that when you're not actually away from people, that you're not just being separate or being difficult, you're not isolated. Isolation is totally different than being moody. So have a look at that video because it covers a lot. So you feel that part, you feel alone, you feel like everything's uneasy, everything's not easy, you don't want to get out of bed, you are people don't seem to get what you're going through, you no matter how much you try and tell people, they just won't just get it. So the thing is don't worry, you will grow out of it, or you will, don't go through it, grow through it. You will grow through it and come out the other end. So don't worry too much. Number 13, you feel more connected with the natural world. Oh yes. Oh yes. I wanted to go and when I wanted to be here for my latest Ascension, I wanted to go and be a naturist, you know. It was just like, it was just really weird, and everyone was like, well, you're weird. And then I was getting to the forest. I didn't strip off, don't worry. I went to the forest and I just spent time just laying on the grass, just laying there. And like people walking past me thinking, what's he doing? But I was just laying there and looking up at the sky, and then just taking in the awe. I used to go to a park and sit near trees and just go, and hug trees, and sometimes just sit there and just go, what is you want to talk to me about, and kind of just get in, feeling their energy. There's a place quite close to us is where you can walk through, and it's almost like them big tall trees. Oh my gosh, it feels like big tall giants, and it is really amazing, but it's so powerful, and it's like goes back for like years and probably centuries. Number 14, you sense you are heightened. Yes, spiritually, energetically, and emotionally, you get heightened. You are more receptive. You can tell when your partner's bullshitting you, or your friends are bullshitting you. But you need to honor yourself for that. Don't think, oh, you know, it's just one of them things and blah blah blah. You are going through this, and it's a part of they're tuning your frequency. So be mindful. Number 15, you have more bodily sensations. So this is interesting. You may want to have this thing, affinity to want to be having sexual affair, not sexual affairs like going sleeping about. You want to enjoy sex or making love, whatever you want to call it. You want to probably try tantric sex. You may want to try getting close to your body when you want to masturbate and all this stuff. And you know what? People probably against me. I don't do all that. But you know what? You bloody hell, it's natural for crying out loud. It is what we do. So when I'm talking to people and I'm here, my collective drop me in it sometimes, and I'm talking to this woman and I'm going blah blah blah, and then they start going, they say, oh, her sacral chakra, and then I go, do you have enough sex? And she's like, what? And I goes, I'm sensing you don't have enough sex, or do you have too much sex? What is it? And it's just like I'm asking her, do you get enough emotional attention? And she was like, well, no, I don't get enough this, that, and the other, enough sex, and it's really pissing me off. And I said, well, you need to tell your partner that he needs to, or she needs to, up the ante, or vice versa. It's funny when it's blokes and I'm talking about the woman, and they go like, well, no, I'm just not on it. And I goes, well, you need to, because there's a block inside you that you need to shift. So you need to be sexually more active with your partner, and not just about sex. Is what I'm saying. It's like your body is more sensitive, so you be able to sense what your body is about. So you, as you're moving stronger, you be able to sense your illnesses, your changes, your bumps, whatever. All these things start heightening. Next one is number 16. Is you get physical symptoms. So you may feel fatigued. You may have brain fog. You may have something to do with taste in your mouth, sore throats, headaches, backaches. Look at where they are in your body and link them to your chakras and do chakra healing in order to help balance that out, because that's really key as well. Number 17 is sudden change to your habits and routines. So you may be going to work a certain way and then you go, well, sod this for a bag of chips, I'm going the other way. Fine, do it, just follow it through. Don't not do it. It's a part of your shift. It's a part of your growth. Number 18 is you overlook the world and it feels different. So while you're looking at the world looks a lot different than how it looked before. It's almost kind of like you have cleaner eyes and it does look different. You may now want to go and, I don't know, join Greenpeace or something, I don't know, or go and join some revolution, you know, or go and, you know, be a freedom fighter. As not in abroad, I mean, is in the forests and stuff. So again, you may become a vegan. You may, you know, you might do the most cardinal sin. Not joking. You may become vegetarian. You may be vegetarian and then become a full meat eater. I've had that before from somebody who stopped being a vegan and became a meat eater. So stranger things have happened. So it's not that you are eating bad food, so-called bad food, because I don't believe everything's bad food. Food. And you don't shift the other way, that you give it up. Sometimes you take it on board. The next one is number 19 is increase empathy. So you latch on and you seem to pick and find the people that are going through the worst states in their life. And it's like they're sent to you for a reason, because you're at that heightened sense that you want to and you can help them. So don't not help them, because it's training for you for when you go into the new ascension level and you've reached that plateau and you've done your ascensions done. That's where you'll be able to use the training along your journey. You don't know the stages, can't be asked, the rat's asked when you're in a bad mood, and then you go into I can sense everything, I'm immortal, till when it balances out. All that is the journey of like going up the stairs, you know, it's all the journey. 20, got one more after this. You display more compassion, you know. So if you ain't got no compassion in you, then you better get ready, because you will get it. It's about you getting closer. Remember, ascension is about getting closer to God, right? So you're getting closer to the source. You don't ascend away, you ascend up towards. So be mindful that when you get compassion, you're getting more compassion and you're starting to learn to think like God. Let me give you a tip about that. When you're meditating, try and do two things. Meditate and try it if you can. One that you say, because I've done it, I do this and I still do it, is that you say, please God, when people see me, let them see you. And this causes for people to see the God in you. The second one is, God, help me to be a closer version of you on earth. And that will then, God will set up a situation for you to find that you are a closer version of him on earth. And finally, you are a newfound courtesy. So you are awakened, and then you're there and you're like, hallelujah, and you've joined the high club, and you're now you're ascended up and you're sitting with the gods, you know. And it is a journey, and it's an amazing journey. And when you arrive there, it is good to share it as well with people, you know, and share with people what you've been through, because it is a unique process that you go through. So don't think that you're on your own with it. Please do talk to each other and share with it. Put it in the comments if you want, if you're going through any ascensions yourself. And also drop me an email. You know, I love to hear from you guys about what you're doing. And I've had a few people who have gone through isolations and situation, and amazing. It's just, and it's always nice when I hear from other YouTubers who have said, this, I've been called to your video, and this feels like right for me, and it's inspired him to do something else. Like, I'm inspired by some YouTubers as well. So yeah, that's it. 21 examples of ascension. So if that makes sense, let me know, and I'll see you in the next video. As I always say, look after others, but most of all, look after yourselves. Namaste.